Many blessings and much love. Today is the day of the full moon Leo, so if you're feeling extra enthusiastic, feeling illuminated, feeling as if things are clear and make sense, you can definitely thank the energies of the full moon as well as it coinciding in such a fiery sign of Leo. So today we'll be feeling these energies, especially accumulated off of what we've been focused on since the beginning of this month. And with us being in the Aquarius season, I really want to bring in the themes of what the Aquarius season has been kicking off since its initiation around January 19th, 20th. And it'll be running somewhere for between now until about February 18th. So with Aquarius season kicking off, we're going to have themes associated around friendships, collaborations. We're going to be dealing with things such as our utopian vision, because Aquarius is the 11th sign. So that's two ones put together. One is the self. So when we add another one, we're thinking of the one outside of the self one, the collective one. So this is more than about just what we can do in this moment. Aquarius is in Capricorn, so there are a lot of similarities because Capricorn is the sign of usage. But Capricorn is thinking of how to utilize this thing more so in this moment and what I can gain from this. Whereas Aquarius is thinking of how this can be used or utilized but stretched out, or how can we get the longevity out of it? What's the best practical use? I channeled some of these messages from spirit, almost like some spiritual shorthand, and after coming back to it so that I can make it palatable for the collective and you guys out here, I'm actually like tuning in now, and it's just interesting because I've been wanting to get back to this energy after I pulled this energy, and there's some really strong themes here. A lot is going to have us focused on what's been ramping up. So really, let's just dive into it. So I pulled from a few collective things dealing with the animal spirits, the chakras, and just the goddess wisdoms that are flowing during this time. One of the things that came up from spirit was the antelope spirit. And a lot of times when we see the antelope spirit, its main message is letting us know that life is speeding up. And this can be a very good thing during this time because the divine universe is amplifying, is a multiplier right now. And it's a multiplier, and that can be good or bad. Multipliers just multiply what's available. So life is speeding up. So during this time, if you've been really wanting to, feeling like you've been making a lot of sacrifices, but trying to figure out where your creative energy has been going and what it's been bringing you to your reality, it may have seemed like things were really not getting the momentum that they really needed to get going, but you'll notice now that things are really starting to kick off and get going. And the reason you may have been noticing that projects and just your enthusiasms for your personal motivations have not been moving at the speed that you would like is more so because there's a long-term goal going on here. There's a bigger goal going on here, and you cannot watch the paint dry. But now, during this season, the momentum is here, things are speeding up, and you're starting to see where that energy is going. You're starting to realize that you can get that creative energy going, that creative art. So it's time to see what it is that you can draw up. A lot of it's predicated off of what resources you already have available to you, but it also requires a discipline that you're going to have to really hone, which is why we're seeing the elements of responsibility. We're seeing the elements of responsibility, which is heavily indicative of the solar plexus. There's a lot of activation going on in the solar plexus during this time, and it's letting us know that the reason that we don't have what we want yet is it takes time to grow. It's still some seeding that's just sprouting. You can't demand a full tree with apples and everything ready for the picking, and you just planted the seed. You got to realize what season that you're in. But understand also that even though this is like really just getting started, that things again are speeding up. When the antelope spirit shows up, it's letting you know to be on alert and have awareness that things are speeding up, and that things are going to be starting to be expressed. It's going to be easier for you to express what it is that you truly desire, because the throat chakra is just on bump right now. It's just really vibrant during this time because this added Aquarius energy helps you to break away from those social norms that may have had you holding your tongue, suppressing yourself, or considering things external to your own internal needs, your own nurturing needs. Solar plexus and confidence. Now that confidence is being nurtured. Now you're feeling empowered. Now you're feeling like you have the things needed to actually enact what it is that you want to express, what it is that you wish to create. Ashe, ashe. We may feel a little bit stagnant during this time, especially when we have expectations that we're holding. We may be waiting for our personal matters to really show us or to manifest in a way that is a confirmation that we deem good enough or sufficient enough to rely on, because we're looking for people who are reliable. We're expecting a lot of reliability right now. With the Antelope spirit being here, if there's been uncertainty as far as the direction that your life is going or the pace that's picking up, this is a call to remind you that as things are picking up, there's a powerful co-creative force that's taking place. You're literally being called or told at this time unequivocally that it's time to get moving. Set your intentions and take action towards making your dreams real. There is an intensity you can feel, and it is important to take advantage of this energy right now. If you have a plan for your career or financial abundance, now is the time to set it up. If you're asking about relationships, make that first move. Just know that the intentions you have set in motion are coming together now and at warp speed. Stay alert and keep it up. Things are getting interesting when the Antelope spirit calls you to move quickly. So you may also, this can invoke two different feelings, because depending on our alignment, or if you feel that you've had shortcomings, or if you feel that you have not been putting your energy in the most, I want to say, proactive ways. Sometimes we create nectar, sometimes we create poison. And if you feel you've been taking or creating poison within your personal spaces or with other people around you through manipulation or domination, then these things might feel really concerning right now, because as things are speeding up, the universe is speeding things up to take that shit back from you, to align things. So you might be feeling like, whoa, I'm not ready for this shit to happen right now. Some things are coming out that might not make me feel the greatest. And with the Aquarius season is not the greatest if you've been finessing, is not the greatest if you've been being selfish, or you have receipts that are coming due that reflect the debts and the shit that you owe. Because the collective is always for the greater good. It's always for the utopian good. So in order to correct these things, if you've been one of the people that's been causing misalignment in the collective or within people who do not deserve this energy, then you may not be, your spirit and your psyche may not be feeling the most comfortable right now, because it feels like things are speeding up. Things are speeding up. You've been hiding things, you've been trying to cover things up or paint this image or this label that you are something that you're not, and now things are speeding up as they unravel, because the universe is either making breakthroughs or breakdowns. And it's rapidly making a breakdown in your life to make breakthroughs for the people who deserve it. So this is really another call to get in alignment, because as this shit gets moving, you can't stop it. Once the Antelope is gone, if you miss your opportunity, it's out, it's gone. So fitting of the goddess wisdom during this time as well, we have Gaia coming up during this Aquarius season. So Gaia is really speaking to getting back to the physical part, the earthy part. So if you've been doing personal spreads and been seeing pentacles or coins come up, really hone in on the intentions that you've been desiring and the energy that you've been putting into work. You may even be birthing something new. Gaia is going to come up for you when we are in alignment, birthing. The energy to birth an idea is the same energy to birth a baby. So if you've been having dreams about birthing and giving birth, consider whether or not you've either been wanting to have a baby, or if you've even been taking that a step further and using your sexual energy for a higher or super consciousness, instead of just birthing a baby, been birthing new ideas or abundant ideas. Now is that time to put that creative art into works, to see what it is that you've really been wanting to draw up. So let's delve into this some more as this season is unfolding, because remember, this Aquarius season is very interesting. It's kicking off. The Aquarius season, it was just before the shadow of the Mercury Retrograde, which is in Aquarius, which is going to have us focused on our social groups and collaborations. But also you'll be feeling some revisits from old things that you thought that you were interested in. So there'll be some emphases on your business and what energy you've been putting into your career work. And with the themes coming up here, with the Tarot of the Divine, definitely I think you guys should check this one out. I've been really enjoying this off-note deck that I've been using and how it's been channeling messages through spirit. But we have the themes during this season to collaborate with these oracle cards of Strength, the Fool, and the Eight of Swords. So let's go through this, because we have Freya. This looks like Freya, the Celtic goddess. Every time I see her red hair, I usually assume that that's Freya. She was within this rendition. The Strength is just denoting overall that when we come across something where we need to make sure that we're putting on our armor, or we're making sure that we have the necessary layers to be prepared for what's coming on, we're getting prepared for what's coming up. Are you ready? You know that there's a war ahead, but are you reluctant to go? Do you not want to grab your broadsword? Do you not want to put on your armor? Do you not want to grab the things necessary to slay the beast? Like sometimes when we see the lion, we see the dragon, we get intimidated by it. But understand that every time we see the rendition of strength, it's always a woman taming the beast, or the divine feminine taming the beast. So this is also a call to give into the parts of yourself that nurture or provide that protection or the right needs for the situation. That even though this thing has fangs, the gentle touch can soothe the beast. So it's also letting you know that you don't necessarily have to take an aggressive approach, but you can also be prepared for what's going on. That this ferocious thing that you're facing can really be quelled, can really be brought docile, can be brought into domesticism. The Fool being here as well, especially with strength, the Fool is a reset, it's zero. So it's very powerful. That's why you see the mermaid, because the mermaid, it lives under the sea, and she's indicative of water, the vastness, and coming to the surface of like, hey, wherever I pop up, anything is possible, because this mermaid is rising out of the water. So during this season, during this Aquarius season, there's a very high vibrational energy taking place, and you may be feeling as if you're rising out of a stupor. Rising out of a stupor, Eight of Swords, and you are holding yourself to a current environment or situation that is literally holding you down. You look as if you're sitting under the bridge, and all these swords are locking you in place. And even though you look out in the distance and see the nice castle, you see the things that you truly aspire for and want, you're not moving from the spot that you're in. Maybe you're held down by these swords, and swords indicative of perceptions and thoughts and logics that you hold in place that are locking down this comfort blanket for you. But this comfort blanket is ragged and tired and probably could use some updating. You're probably holding on to some old perceptions that no longer serve you, and you could probably attain that which you desire if you stop looking in the reflections of these daggers that you have holding you in place to this environment. A lot of times when we see the Eight of Swords, because it's representative of overwhelming thoughts, we might be holding ourselves in place. We might think that we're trapped. But if we just took the time to address these matters, we realize we could wiggle out. We realize we might actually be able to see if we weren't just always looking down at what's currently around us. We might even actually be able to step out of being under the viaduct or under this bridge and walk towards that which we truly want. Take the first steps. If we get out of our head, because understand that no matter how you feel, no matter how spiritual you are, everything that you manifest comes from a place of thought. You manifest your thoughts, so the thought comes first. So if you're thinking on the situation that you're in and you're stuck in it, and you think that there's no solution, you don't have the strength, and that you don't know what to do with this energy, you're just going to take that current energy and fuel it back into what you're currently doing. You're going to use it to fuel and see what it is that you're already doing and create more of the world that you're already currently in. So it's going to further reinstill what it is that you are already experiencing. It's going to speed this up. This Aquarius energy is really invoking this need of unconditional love, the need to step out of our safety space, because we're locking ourselves in our own ego prisons. This unique vibration during this time, remember, Aquarius is the water bearer. Even though they are an air sign, they are the water bearer. So that in and of itself is telling you that the information that comes out with Aquarius being a fixed sign is it's going to flow and it's going to stick. It's not just going to be like a kite blowing on the wind. That means that this information is coming out and it's going to be heard, and you can't ignore it. It has to be felt. It's very solid. It's almost tangible like water or quick drying cement. When you are closest to this energy of unconditional love, able to utilize your visionary nature with the emotional weight, without the emotional weight of involvement. So one of the powerful things going on during this Aquarius season is Aquarius is the sign of the alien, or the sign of detachment or emotional detachment. So during this time, we also are realizing on the pro side, or on the plus side, that things that used to weigh us down, we can now involve ourselves towards our visions, involve ourselves towards our future goals, our future ideas and tech, without the hang up or the weight of, oh shit, the obligations, or is this going to work, or the fear of, if I put the energy in, will this blow up in my face? You don't have none of that attachment. You just have the idea and to know how to do it. So let's embrace that during this time. Now, also remember that because we are moving to this full moon Leo, you may want to take account of any personal pride and expectations. Emotions will be a lot warmer right now during this time, so it'll be a lot easier for you to express the way you feel. Obviously, with the Fool being here, that's another representation that, hey, when the Fool shows up, the Fool is not knowing, or is not someone who is foolish. The Fool is simply somebody who can do anything. It is the mirror of the world. But the only difference between the Fool and the world is the person who is the world is aware of their magical power. The Fool is more like the up and comer, or the person who is unaware of their latent abilities. They're a lay person, so to speak. Spirit is calling you to be mindful of any dramatics, because obviously with the Mercury Retrograde being in Aquarius, you're going to be dealing with your social groups. You might want to say things that may improve the dynamics of the circles you're in, or especially since you're thinking about improvement, thinking about how we can make this better. However, just be mindful of the intensity during this time, because they're still, like, especially with our water signs, they're still trying to figure out a lot of things. So for my earth and fire signs, you may be looking for some of your water signs to get on the same page, but they're really actually in a state trying to make sure that everything is flowing personally for them. So this is really a call to be mindful of how you're coming across and the impact that you have on these close circles to you. Obviously, like I said, with the Eight of Swords, this is resonating for you to holding yourself to your lifestyle or the rituals that no longer serve you. And strength is obviously reflecting the required energy available. Even if you are the soldier, you have to make sure that your mindset is indicative of wanting to fight or be prepared for what's coming up. Take that in to mind when you're involving yourself within your relationship dynamics, the growth that you're trying to make within your new projects, and just overall anything that you've been looking back on and been hoping or expecting it to be at a better state than what it currently is. Hang-ups and tensions brought on by misplaced or undue blame or some type of lack of accountability will greatly hinder any forward moving during this season. Aquarius does not hang itself up with social conformity. So if you have been feeling too narrow-minded or one-dimensional this past month, karmically stagnant over 2020, then this will be the season you may run into crazy situations. So make sure that you are playing chess, not checkers. I hope this is resonating with your spirit. And as you feel this Aquarius season unfold for you more, allow yourself to be or come into awareness when you take your divine breath of how can I allow this Aquarius, this radical independent energy, this energy that goes against social norms and thinks of the betterment of the collective outside of itself. How can I take that unconditional love quality into my being, and what areas can it mend and align and improve my situations in my life? Well, much love and many blessings. I hope that you are each and all enjoying your Aquarius season and that you are putting your plans and visionary works into motion. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Lotus Speaks and enjoying this Aquarius season. Make sure to follow me on the Lotus, Urban Lotus 6, and tune in for all my new content. Up next, I'll be dropping the Aquarius placements and wisdom for this season by the signs. Stay tuned and much love. Ashe.